Have you ever caught yourself sacrificing your own needs, wants, and desires to keep the peace with others? You know, that feeling of being a master people pleaser, but secretly wondering if you're just an imposter. It's a familiar ache for many of us, but have you ever stopped to think about why we turn to people pleasing in the first place? When we think of people pleasing, we might picture a friend who's always agreeing to hang out, even when they're exhausted, or a colleague who consistently puts others' needs before their own. But have you ever stopped to think about why we turn to people pleasing in the first place? For some of us, it may stem from childhood experiences where our emotional needs weren't met. We might have grown up with parents who were preoccupied with their own struggles, leaving us feeling invisible and unheard. Or perhaps we experienced physical or verbal abuse, which made us feel like our presence was a burden. In these situations, people-pleasing becomes a way to compensate for the lack of validation we received as children. We might overthink social interactions, trying to anticipate what others want from us, in an attempt to fill the void left by our own emotional neglect. We become the good kid or the perfect employee, constantly seeking approval and affirmation. This coping mechanism may provide temporary relief, but it can also lead to exhaustion, resentment, and a deep sense of disconnection from our true selves. You might be someone who consistently says yes to every social invitation, even when your body is screaming, "No, why?" You might be the one who always puts others' needs before your own, sacrificing your own desires and boundaries in the process. Or maybe you're the kind of person who feels anxious or guilty if you can't attend a friend's event or help out with a family member's problem. These behaviors are often unconscious patterns that we've developed over time to try and avoid conflict or maintain a sense of belonging. But they can be devastating in the long run, leading to burnout, resentment, and a deep sense of disconnection from our true selves. You might feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, never wanting to rock the boat or disappoint others. But the truth is, when we people please, we're not doing anyone else a favor. We're actually sacrificing our own well-being and happiness. And it's often hard to recognize these patterns in ourselves because they feel so ingrained and automatic. Yet, recognizing them is the first step towards change. People pleasers often engage in behaviors that, on the surface, seem harmless or even beneficial. But they can be signs of a deeper pattern of self-sacrifice and emotional suppression. Let's examine 7 things people pleasers do without realizing it. As we've seen, people-pleasing is often a coping mechanism for childhood trauma or emotional neglect. But what happens when this behavior becomes an unconscious pattern? You may find yourself constantly seeking validation from others, trying to meet their expectations while sacrificing your own needs and desires. It's like being a master juggler, expertly juggling the demands of those around you, but losing control of your own life in the process. As you continue on this journey to break free from people-pleasing, remember that it's not about suddenly becoming a selfish person who disregards others' needs. It's about finding the courage to acknowledge your own limits and setting boundaries that honor those limits. Think of it like being on a hike with a friend where you both want to reach the summit together. But instead of carrying each other's weight or sacrificing your own safety, you communicate openly about what you can realistically handle, so you both end up at the top feeling proud and strong. As we wrap up this journey through people-pleasing, I want to leave you with a crucial reminder. Your worth isn't defined by others' expectations. You've been conditioned to believe that by pleasing everyone else, you'll earn their love and approval. But what if I told you that's not true? Your self-worth is rooted in who you are, flaws and all. Think of it like this. Imagine being at the end of a long hike with a friend. You've been walking side by side for hours, carrying each other's backpacks, so neither of you ends up lugging around an excessive load only to be worn out and disappointed when you reach the summit. It's not about what others want, it's about what you both need to succeed. In this case, a balanced load. You have the power to rebalance your own life, to shed the weight of people-pleasing and rediscover yourself. You're not alone in this struggle, and it's okay to start anew. Remember that every small step towards embracing your true self is a victory, even if it feels like a tiny whisper amidst the din of expectations. As we wrap up this conversation, I want you to take a deep breath in. Feel the air fill your lungs, and as you exhale, imagine any residual people-pleasing patterns releasing from your being. You've made it through this journey with me, and I'm so proud of you for confronting these unconscious patterns head-on. Remember that acknowledging your strengths is not selfish. It's essential to living authentically. You deserve to be seen, heard, and loved exactly as you are, without apology or pretension. Take this newfound self-awareness and let it guide you forward towards a life of freedom and purpose. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.